Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy, and I'm back with another video. We're going to be talking about Microsoft's conference at E3. But before we begin, I want to state this for the record. I remember last E3, and I gave Sony a slightly higher grade than Microsoft's presentation of last year. And people kept commenting in the comment section talking about, well, all Sony really did last year was just showed games that have not been released yet, the same old trailers, the same old games that have not been released yet for the PlayStation 4. So I'm wondering, is everyone still using this argument, this theory about Microsoft? Because with this conference last night, that's all Microsoft kept showing was trailers of games that have been delayed, that have not made their way to the Xbox One yet. Games such as Crackdown that has been a keynote of several E3s of the past of Microsoft, and this game yet again, they showed it again this year's E3. But let's get into it. Before I begin, let's start off with the games that let's get into the presentation. Overall, the presentation, I give it a very, very high grade. I like the pace of the presentation. I give that also a high grade. I like the stage props, how they set up the stage. I also give that a high grade. They started it off with Halo. And this latest entity of Halo, they didn't show any gameplay footage. They showed some CGI effects, what I thought of it. A lot of people thought it was cartoony. I thought Halo was Halo. 343, ever since they took over the reins of developing Halo, they have done a very impressive job. Now, last year's Halo, a lot of people did not like the campaign. The campaign didn't make sense, and then a lot of people started put the aluminum hats on their heads and doing conspiracy theories, talking about the Halo commercial of last year just did not match the identity of the Halo campaign. A lot of people thought that Microsoft was doing some trickeration when advertising last year's Halo. But with that being said, it looks okay. I haven't seen a lot of it, and we're just going to have to wait in the next couple of years to see how this game actually look when you're talking about gameplay footage and things of that nature. But 343 does an amazing job with Halo, so I'm not expecting anything less from Halo. Okay, the next thing they showed was Ori. I think it's Ori and the Blind Forest. It's not Ori and the Blind Forest. It's a new Ori game. I thought that looked very great, looked very appealing, and it really shows off the power of the Xbox One X console. Okay, they also show Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It looks okay. It looks great. But my problem with the Shadow of the Tomb Raider game is it's going to fall in line with a lot of other games that have either been released or games that are upcoming, and I just don't think it's going to find its niche, find its following. But it's a good game. All right. This game is not exclusive. It's a multi-plat. Meaning that PC owners are going to get their hands on Shadow of the Tomb Raider, PlayStation 4, so it would have been great if they could broker a deal with Crystal Dynamics and made this game exclusively for the Xbox One X console. And yet again, that's another notch in their belt on why you should purchase an Xbox One X. But it's a fabulous game. But I don't think it's going to find its identity when it's released, particularly the games that have already been released and the games that are upcoming that's going to be released. Okay. The next thing they talked about was Game Pass. I had a feeling that they was going to go into details about Game Pass. They talked about how all the exclusive content, I mean, all of the exclusive, quote unquote, exclusive games that make their way to Xbox One X, is you can also purchase these games physical, digitally, or you can use Game Pass and just pay the fee, and you can just enjoy these games with by paying $9.99 a month. They talked about games that are going to be released tonight. Well, last night was the original Division, Elder Scrolls, and I forgot the other game. If you were not fans of either of these games, you're able to pick these games up. Well, this morning, overall, Game Pass. I think it's an inside the park home run for Microsoft. I think this is the future of Microsoft. And Game Pass, we're really not going to know the true test of Game Pass until it starts making its way outside of the Xbox consoles. How successful Game Pass is on PC, how successful Game Pass is, which I'm pretty sure they're trying to mobilize it on phones and tablets and laptops, things of that nature. And I know they want to have a Game Pass app on televisions, Blu-ray players, ultra Blu-ray players, and eventually they would love to have Game Pass correspond with their competition, meaning Nintendo and Sony. Okay, but it all hinges on how successful and how demanding people want Game Pass, and as of right now, it's an inside of a park home run. Okay, overall. They also showed they also showed Cyberpunk at the end. No, what? Let's not go into that. They showed the Division 2. It looks a lot better than the original Division. It's set in Washington D.C. I like the premise of it. I like the environment. It doesn't feel closed in like the original Division when it was set in New York City. I think a lot of people are going to have fun with this game. But the same elements people had problems with the original Division, some of those elements are also in Division 2. When they were showing gameplay footage and they were all shooting at this armored protected boss, and it took so long for them to bring this boss down, and a lot of people are illustrating, making points of, well, the Division 2 once again is a bullet sponge. I mean, you could probably put six clips in an enemy and then you finally get him down. Okay, so a lot of people are going to are probably on the fence with the Division 2. I think the Division 2 looks great. And then they talked about Forza, yet again another Forza game, and Microsoft continues to make Forza a racing sim and a yearly game that comes out every freaking year. And we haven't even got into Forza Horizon. I'm pretty sure they're going to be showcasing and showing that off sometime in the near future. But it looks astonishing, looks breathtaking, looks beautiful. Okay, but I think the element of sim racing, I don't think it's a real growing type of community. Okay, just look at Forza last year, look at Gran Turismo last year. Okay, I just think people just if you are a racing car fan, you like playing racing games, I think people just like to just get into them and have experiences right off the bat instead of working so hard to make your car better and to get better parts or to get better cars. I just think people just simply just like getting into cars and just having their thrill, having their fun. Okay, but it looks very good. I don't have no issues with Forza, and it's going to be set in England. So that that's going to be intriguing. They also talked about Halo and the different type of Halo games that Halo Gears and the different type of games that's going to be making its way when you're talking about Gears. They're going to have a mobile Gears game. They're going to have another Gears game for PC. And then they're going to have the original, not the original, the main presentation of Gears. I think it's going to be set with the from the gameplay footage. I think this new Gears is not going to be like a co-op type of game. I think it's going to be more. I think it's going to start using elements of single play in this game, and the leading character is the female, and I forgot her name. I was trying to figure out her name, but I forgot her name. I apologize. A lot of male gamers are not too pleased with the new format of Gears, the character that you have to play with in Gears, and they also not happy with Battlefield. Not because Battlefield set in World War II, but the female characters in Battlefield, and I think those male players are not too happy with it. The social justice warriors, they're using that angle as why a lot of these mainstream games are now more than ever the leading character is not a male no more, it's a female. Okay, now here's my theory with Gears. I think there's going to be certain aspects through the game where you play as her, but I think overall you get to switch off of different characters like previous Gears games. Okay, the campaign looks good to me, looks amazing. They didn't show off any multiplayer. I think they need a little touch on the multiplayer. I kind of like the older Gears games when Cliffy B and them developed the multiplayer. It made sense. It was enjoyable to play the multiplayer part. I think the coalition is going to have to really do their due diligence on the multiplayer side. They didn't talk about horde mode. I'm pretty sure that's going to be in this new Gears game, and we're just going to all have to wait and see. Crackdown, it looked like it has scaled back some, and not with the graphics or the design of it, but how they were going to utilize Crackdown. Now, if anybody remember, everybody has short-term amnesia, 3 or 4 years ago when they was talking about Crackdown, they're talking about the destructibility in not only in the single player, but also online, and how they was going to use the cloud, and they did a presentation, and everybody enjoyed it, everybody loved it. I think when you look at this trailer yesterday, it seems like to me they're no longer talking about that. They're no longer worried about that, and Terry Crews is now the leading character on Crackdown. It looks good. It looks great. It's going to come out in February. But my problem with Crackdown is I feel like this game is going to be yet delayed again. Okay, because there's a lot of heavy hitters around that February mark. Okay, but it's up to Microsoft if they want to do that. Now, overall, what I thought about the whole entire presentation, like I told you earlier in the video, talking about the presentation itself, the stage and the tempo and the lighting designs and all that, I was very impressed with that. But there are some questions left after the presentation. A lot of people thought that, for one, Microsoft direction. I'm not sure what the future of Microsoft is. There's been leaks and rumors out there that they're all working on the next Xbox. They're still in the console making business, as well as they haven't abandoned the hope or the theory of having Xbox, the service Xbox, run on multiple things, trying to get the billion gamers. And the only way you're going to be able to get the billion gamers to try out your service is to have Xbox not only in the PCs and the tablets or in the phones, but also in your competition when you're talking about Nintendo systems, when you're talking about PlayStation systems. Okay. They really didn't abandon that ideal or that identity. Okay. And the future of Xbox. Now, they bought studios, and these studios are supposed to be making exclusive games, exclusive titles for the Xbox One X. Now, out of all the studios he mentioned, Phil Spencer mentioned, we have to wait and see the end result of that. And unfortunately, it's going to be a couple of years until we start seeing something what they're making for Microsoft. And let's just face reality. These new studios, they're going to probably be making exclusive titles for the next successor of the Xbox One X, which gets into my final point. Even though the presentation was dope, it was great, it was good, it still didn't give you a reason why to purchase an Xbox One X if you're still leaning on the fence. If you got an Xbox Slim, that presentation really didn't show you anything why you should upgrade and get an Xbox One X. If you have other consoles like the Switch and the PlayStation, that presentation didn't demonstrate why you should go out and spend an extra $500 for an Xbox One X, because out of the 50 titles, even though I believe it was 18 that were exclusive, out of the 50 titles, they're all multi-plats. They're not time exclusive. They're not going to appear on the Xbox One X first. And I think consumers are wising up and realizing you really don't need to buy a console just to get a time exclusive game that's going to have content 30 days earlier than its competition. You can literally just wait until the DLC appears. Okay, so it still didn't give you why you should purchase an Xbox One X, and I think it failed on the Xbox One X standard. It also failed on the future of Xbox, because the future of Microsoft is clouded right now. Nobody knows what Microsoft is thinking, and you have to go think back to all the other ideals, all the other theories that Microsoft has been pretty much throwing crap on the wall hoping for it to stick, and the different directions Phil Spencer and Microsoft went just in these 3 years alone. Okay, I'm not going to go into details. First they wanted to be heavily into exclusives. Now they abandoned that theory. Now it's about service. They sort of abandoned that theory. Now it's about backwards compatibility, which a lot of people were so clamored for last year. They didn't even mention backwards compatibility in this presentation, so you really don't know the focus point of Microsoft. They got so many hats around their corner. They just don't know which hat to pick up. So the direction of Microsoft is questionable and it's cloudy. Nobody knows without a doubt what direction they're going to go to. But we just have to go with the flow with Microsoft, because I don't think Microsoft and Phil Spencer knows where the future lies in Xbox. So should we be only concerned about the services? Should we only be concerned about making consoles? Should we only be concerned about making exclusive titles? Should we only be concerned about time exclusives? We really don't know what Microsoft's thought process is, because they're thinking in the moment. Okay, and that's what happens when you're behind the 8 ball with your competition. You're sort of kind of waiting on what they're going to do, and then you attack when you find out in concrete, cement and concrete, what they actually are doing. Okay. But I think it was a great conference. It did little for purchasing an Xbox One X, and you don't know the direction, the future of Microsoft, but I think they did good with the presentation. I think they played safe, and I think they took a page of Sony, what they did last year, which was play safe as well. Okay. But other than that, that's all I have to say about this presentation. It was a decent presentation, and I will give it a B. Okay. Because of all the other positive things that they indicated in this presentation, and there were more positive stuff than negative. Okay, it wasn't half and half, positive and negative. I think they had a lot of things going for them in their corner, positive wise. Okay, but it is what it is, guys. Tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. It's your boy, and I am out. Deuces.